My friends, this is a great time to become a channel member. Every week now I'm posting uncensored videos exclusively for my channel members, along with custom emojis and live streams for members at the Arch-Villain level where you get to talk to me directly. Please consider supporting this channel by clicking the link in the video description and joining us in our fight to save pop culture. And also, check out our Patreon and Subscribe-Star pages for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, including Harvey Cthulhu's insane podcasts, photos of my vast toy collection, and members at the Legionnaire level receive a signed photo, membership card, and certificate signed by me. You'll find the Patreon link in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, my friends, and now on to the video. My friends, we are winning the war on woke, and I'm making this video for any of you watching who doubt that. I know we're constantly bombarded by bad news, but sometimes it's important to take stock, look at some hard facts, and get some perspective on reality. And in this case, my friends, reality is a wonderful thing. There are endless examples of how badly woke is choking out there, but nowhere is it more evident just how destructive woke is than in the gaming industry. It's a woke-pocalypse out there, folks. Woke is steadily going broke in Hollywood, but as far as the gaming industry goes, woke is absolutely and swiftly ruining gaming companies' stock, profits, and careers with failure after failure. In this video, I want to examine this crushing string of failures from game companies who dare to try and suckle at the woke teat and gloat over how they finally realized what we all know:
the wages of woke is broke.
Forever and ever, amen. My friends, I want to look at 4 recent examples of woke game disasters that rained on the safe spaces of those fragile snowflakes, the most recent being the crushing failures of Concord and Dustborn. Folks, these games were so woke, they were practically parodies of wokeness, exaggerated almost to the point of satire, and that alone is a sign that the woke movement is on its last legs, gasping and grasping for some way to make an impact and recapture their lost momentum. See, by now, if they were winning, if the public had been reprogrammed to not only accept but believe in woke, these games would be succeeding, not failing. But that clearly isn't happening, as evidenced by the sad and sorry case of Star Wars Outlaws, a game so awful according to sources, it threatens the very survival of its parent company, UbiSoft, whose stock is so low, some are questioning whether it will survive. PC Gamer tried to put a positive spin on this, since essentially they rely on the goodwill of these companies for access and so on. But here's the simple truth of the matter when it comes to Star Wars Outlaws, quote, "The launch of Star Wars Outlaws should have been a triumph for Ubisoft, a milestone moment heralding a turnaround in the company's fortunes, but on the financial front at least, it hasn't really worked out that way. Outlaws has been generally well received by critics, but sales don't appear to be meeting initial expectations, and instead of seeing a surge, Ubisoft's share price has tumbled following the game's release to its lowest mark since 2014. Ubisoft was banking heavily on Star Wars Outlaws, saying in its most recent financial report that gameplay previews were not only praised by players and critics alike, but also highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our game engines. But a Reuters report says sales of Star Wars Outlaws are sluggish, quoting JP Morgan analyst Daniel Kervin as saying that the game has struggled to meet our sales expectations despite positive critical reviews, unquote. And folks, if you want to see for yourselves just how badly Ubisoft's stock is doing, as of the time of this video, it's sitting at $2.60 a share, down 56.16% over the past year. As E.T. famously said, ouch. But exactly how bad is this for Ubisoft? Yesterday I received the following message from my Hollywood spies, which I am presenting now solely as rumor, one I ask you to take with a grain of salt. Quote, "Ubisoft is in a very bad situation. With the current Star Wars Outlaws flopping, their stock took a hit. It seems the only thing that might save them is Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, the one with a black samurai. We are being told if this game flops, it could potentially be the end of UbiSoft, and the most likely scenario, someone will move in and buy it cheap. Probably Sony is what we're being told, but we would not count Microsoft out. Unquote.
If that's the case, man, they're already FUBAR. Because a black samurai in that period is woke nonsense, and fans aren't going to go for that. No way, no how.
Time will tell, Harvey Cthulhu, but in the future, if a game company has a Lemmings-like desire to burn money for laughs on a woke title, they'd better not do 2 woke games in a row, lest they have no way to recover. Desperate game developers are struggling to find a way to make a dent, to ram the message down our throats, but years of dealing with this crap have finally honed our gag reflexes to the point that we're instantly alerted to their bullshit and we instantly reject it. And in the case of Concord, it only took days for us to shut their asses down. An article in The Federalist titled "Politics-Free Black Myth Sells 10 million in 3 days" as DEI games Dustborn and Concord flop. And in that article, they spell out some harsh truths, folks. Quote, "Wokeness might be on its last life in the gaming world if the past 2 weeks were any indication. 2 woke games have utterly collapsed upon release, while a new, aggressively anti-woke game is doing gangbusters. Let's start with the negative. Concord, the new shooter from Sony Entertainment, looks primed to be one of the biggest flops in gaming history. While we don't have an exact budget for Concord, estimates of similar games put it anywhere from $50 to $200 million. Concord features a menagerie of hideous DEI characters with their pronouns proudly flagged in the corner. A simple glance at the character design indicates this game was not made for the average player, but rather for radical leftists." Unquote.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And what did all that woke crap get them? Concord went offline and got canceled after just 2 weeks. 2 weeks, dude. I hear some of Concord's game developers are online crying about how their careers are over. The wages of woke is broke, my friends. Let it be written on every obelisk. Maybe next time, skip the woke and bring the fun. But I hear the Dustborn is even worse.
It's a question of degree, Harvey Cthulhu, but you can definitely make a case for that. I have a feeling the propagandists who crapped out this misbegotten piece of shit thought Dustborn was going to change the world, but all it did is change their fortunes from good to bad. As the Federalist aptly points out, quote, "Described by Forbes as among the most unrepentantly liberal and left-leaning games out there, the game almost feels like a parody of wokeness. Unfortunately, interviews with the game's creator and developers reveal this is an earnest attempt at creating a woke magnum opus. The team told gaming outlet PSU in an interview that the idea behind Dustborn's setting and characters was also influenced by a series of political events that deeply affected us all, beginning in the summer of 2016 and continuing until, well, today. That political messaging is clear from the opening seconds of Dustborn's gameplay, major chunks of which have received deep scorn on social media. The game begins with a musical number where our heroic protagonists, all of which have some form of DEI cred, sing about how native citizens won't last and will be replaced by refugees. Other woke nuggets include the ability to cancel and bully opponents, get triggered, and call people racists." Unquote.
Good riddance to woke rubbish, Doomcock. Why do you think it is that gamers are rejecting wokeness so swiftly and decisively, whereas it's taking a lot longer to call Hollywoke to account?
It's because, let's face it, Skull of Calderon, games cost a lot more than movies or streaming subscriptions. A normie sees something woke on Disney Plus or Netflix, they just shut it off and move on. They don't see a direct cost for that particular garbage coming out of their wallets. Same for going to a theater to see a woke movie. Well, they don't like it, but they only lost maybe $8 to $15 depending. But games cost an arm and a leg, my friends. When you've shelled out $50 to $100 on a game, and it turns out to be a piece of woke crap, gamers aren't going to take that lying down. The rejection is swift, brutal, and angry. Remember that obnoxious piece of filth game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? The one where they piss on the corpse of the Flash and Harley Quinn in a Go Girl Slay Queen moment executes a broken Batman, voiced in Kevin Conroy's final performance as Batman, adding unspeakable insult to injury? Well, I'm pleased to tell you that Warner Brothers paid a very steep price for that insult, according to Business Insider, in an article titled, "Failed Suicide Squad Video Game Cost Warner Brothers $200 million." Did you play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, the video game that came out in February? Me neither. And the problem for Warner Brothers Discovery, which released the game, is that very few people did. And the ones who did really didn't like it. And that led the company to take a staggering $200 million loss on the game, which it disclosed in its first quarter earnings on Thursday. Warner Brothers Discovery's chief financial officer, Gunnar Wiedenfels, described the game's results as disappointing. And the company repeatedly pointed out the impact of the game's failure on its bottom line. Suicide Squad is a spectacular dud in line with some of the worst mistakes a movie studio has ever made, unquote. Well, there you have it, my friends. Have no doubt and make no mistake. We are winning this war to save pop culture, and the wages of woke is broke indeed. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.